Can you hear me? Hello? Thank you. So yesterday we discussed about different types of parameters that we have in crystal reports and how it differs from static and dynamic, and whenever you publish a report, how it generates bandwidth parameters in the server machine. So now today let's see what exactly a sub-report is. So a sub-report is nothing but a report inside a report. You have a question about timestamp removal while placing on top of designer crystal reports, you mean? So let me add in webi. Okay, no problem. So now here sub-reports. Sub-reports are nothing but a report inside a report. Wherein in our web intelligence we have multi-tab reports. In the same way here we have a concept called sub-reports, but wherein this is not something like a multi-tab report what we have seen in web intelligence, but here also crystal reports is capable of generating multiple reports on multiple connections merging together in a single report. For example, so here I'm going to place some fields coming from customer name table, and apart from that I can also add or insert one more sub report. So we'll go to insert sub report. Now by inserting a sub report you have an option of choosing already generated report as a sub report, or you can generate a report at runtime. So now I want to generate at runtime, so I'm going to name this as sub. Now click on report wizard. Again it starts the steps from the starting point wherein you need to select different connection. So you can use any connection, not only the same connection. So one is main report is coming from SQL Server, sub report is coming from Oracle. So more than one connection that you can apply and add the tables what are all that you want from that connection. Select what are all the fields that you want to display. Order date, order amount, customer ID, order amount, unit price, finish. Now this is my sub report wherein just click on OK and you can place it in report footer or report header at any section that you can place it. But remember, sub reports always decreases the performance. Make sure that if you can't avoid that selection, so make sure that you should place your sub report either in report footer or report header, but don't try to place it in detail section or any other sections. The reason is based on the placement of your sub report. Let's say if I place this sub report in detail section, your sub report is going to run the number of times which is equal to the number of records what you have in main report, because detail section is going to execute that many times, which is going to degrade your performance. So that's the reason I kept it under report footer, which is going to execute only once in a main report at the end of the report. So now this is a sub report wherein if you click on preview, You'll be able to see main report data first, and then at the end you'll get sub-report data. See, this is sub-report data. The box, whatever that you're seeing here, is sub-report data. Which means what we did here, we just merged two result sets wherein two different reports into one. That's it. That's why report inside a report is known as a sub-report, and you can actually see the design of your sub-report by double-clicking on that. So this is your design of your sub-report. Again, if you go to Field Explorer, you have sub-report content. You can write formulas, everything the same, and you can add all the content, and you'll be able to merge both the result sets like this. So that is about sub-report. So the limitations of this sub-report is sub-report inside a sub-report is not possible in Crystal reports. Wherein you have inserted one sub-report, inside this sub-report you cannot have one more sub-report. So that is the limitation. But main report can have n number of sub-reports, any number. There is no limit for that. But as many that you insert, the report performance will be degraded. The reason is it has to connect to multiple connectivities in the backend. And don't try to place your sub-report in your detail section. Try to use it in report header or report footer. But if there are any scenarios wherein you have to place it, go ahead and place it. So now the sub-report type, whatever that we have inserted, is unlinked sub-report. Unlinked in the sense there is no relation between your main report and sub-report. You're executing main report and showing the results separately, and at the end you're executing your sub-report and showing the results separately. So which means that is known as unlinked sub-reports. Then what is linked sub-reports? For example, customer ID is what I have in my main report. Now, whenever I want to see the preview, not only for each and every record of my report, customer ID, that customer ID specific orders that I want to show in my sub-report. For that, I need to place this, because customer ID, each and every customer ID changes in detail section. So I'm going to insert one more detail section here, and I'll move it to my report to sub-report detail section. Now this sub-report data is going to show the same data multiple times, because there is no linking between your main report and sub-report. Same data will be repeated for each and every row of your main report. So to link it, right click on your sub-report and go to change sub-report link. It opens a linking wizard. Whatever the fields that you have left hand side are from your main report. I'm going to add this customer ID and I'm going to link it with sub-report fields. So these are all sub-report fields. And I want to link it to customer ID that you have in the orders tables. So customer ID from customer table, you're linking with customer ID from orders table of your sub-report. Now click on OK. Now if you see the preview, each and every, after each and every record of my main report, it shows their related orders as well. Customer ID equal to 1. And then again next row, next record, and next results. Customer ID 3 related results. So this type of a report is known as linked sub-report, wherein for each and every record of your main report has linking to your sub-report and filtering the data in your sub-report. This is how we can link. So not only one field, we can link it more than one field. So whenever you link your sub-report, what happens in your sub-report? Change sub-report links. This is what you're linking, right? So to link these two fields, it has generated one new parameter with the name PM customer.customer ID. Wherever you see PM, so this PM is something, a linking field between main report and sub report. So now to see in your sub report where you have that, so double click on your sub report, see under parameters, you'll be able to see new parameter got generated after generating a linking between main report and sub report. And this parameter is actually to link main report and sub report. And how is it linking? So it has just created one filter condition in your sub report. A customer ID of your sub report field is equal to that parameter, and this parameter value is nothing but a customer ID coming from your main report. So this is how chain sub-report links works, wherein it's going to generate one parameter in your sub-report, and on that parameter it is applying a filter condition in your sub-report. So like this, you can link not only one field, more than one field. You can link it from main report to the sub-report, and you can filter the content. So this type of sub-report is known as linked sub-report. So whenever you execute your report, both linked or unlinked, both the reports will be refreshed at a time. So now since I placed it in detail section, the problem is, it's whenever you refresh your report, it's going to refresh both main report and sub report, and it's going to take long time because for each and every record you are executing your sub report. So to improve the performance, since I cannot avoid anything here in this situation, so normally not only in detail section, if you have a group header or group footer, there also you can place it and you will link the field. So now to improve the performance, so why should I show the sub-report data when I execute my report? Maybe my customer wants to see a specific customer ID related orders at runtime. So whatever that he wants, he'll just click on that link. Then only I'll execute my sub-report to show the output, which is faster because I'm not executing both the reports at a time. Only when the customer clicks on a link, then only I'll show the sub-report data. So in that scenario, it executes only main report, but whenever the customer clicks on a link, then it executes the sub-report. So to convert that, here you have an option of converting. Right click on sub-report, go to format sub-report, and under the format sub-report, here sub-report tab, you have an option to make it as on-demand sub-report. So on-demand sub-report in the sense, it's going to make a link wherein it's not going to show the output until unless you click on that link. So for example, here you have 47, customer ID 47 record, and I want to see more information, orders information of that record. Click on corresponding sub-report link. It opens 47 related results in a separate tab. No issues. Even if it is from different data source, different data, you have any common field from those two data providers, link them. I said you can do it for multiple connections. It is independent of connectivity. One is from SQL main report and sub report is from Oracle. Do the same thing, no issues. Okay. Yes, the format is also different because sub-report designing, you can see the design of your sub-report here, right? So this is my design of my sub-report. Okay, I want to insert one chart as well. So for example, this is the design of my sub-report. I'll insert one chart. Whatever that you insert, that will be shown in your main report. Chart, place it. I'll use some order amount, and I have some order date here. An order date, I want to choose yearly. So this is an additional option that you get whenever you want to apply group by an order date. these are all the options that you get. So when you apply group by on date, do you want for each day, for each week, 2 weeks, half month, full month, quarter, half year? So these are all that you can choose for the date field when you apply group by. For example, here I want yearly sales on my chart, order amount on my chart, and click on OK. So this is my sub report. Now see the main preview. Now if you click on your sub report, it opens whatever the format that you have in the sub report. So it's not specific to the format. You can have any format in your sub report. Never matter. Whatever that you have in sub report, it will be executed. So like this, here as soon as you click on a link, it's going to open a separate tab and it's going to show you the results. Now here, so this is an on-demand sub-report wherein whenever you execute your report, it refreshes only your main report, and when you click on this link, then only it refreshes your sub-report and shows the output, which is going to improve your performance. But now what I want is here, I don't want to show the link as sub. I want to make customer ID as a hyperlink so that if I click on that ID, it should show the detailed values in a separate tab. So if that is the case, then right click on this sub-report, go to format sub-report. Under sub-report, here you have an option of making on-demand sub-report caption. Here the caption what I want is, it should be text, so that's why I'm converting the customer ID number to 2 text. Customer ID. This is my caption. Save and close it. Click on OK. See here, it's showing the numbers now. So let me minimize the. Oops. As soon as you click on that number, it shows the preview. So not only changing the caption, whenever it opens a tab, even the tab name also I want the same name. Now I'll just minimize the size, and now I'm gonna remove this customer ID and I'll place it at the place of customer ID. You can insert heading separately if you want. Delete this section and see the preview. Yep. So these are all. Now it is showing customer ID as a hyperlink. Now on whichever the link that you click on, for example 95, it shows 95 related. The tab caption name is also showing 95 now, and it shows that related orders. So like this, you can make your report more interactive so that you'll be able to see the required data, whatever that you want. So that is about unlinked sub-report, linked sub-report, and on-demand sub-report. The one which we are looking at is on-demand sub-report. These 3 types of sub-reports are possible in Crystal reports. Sub-report is nothing but a report inside a report. Now a limitation of this sub-report is sub-report cannot have another sub-report inside in it, but a main report can have multiple sub-reports. Any questions? Thank you. That is about sub-reports in Crystal reports. So now, even here under Field Explorer, Crystal report is capable of generating more than report on more than one connection. How? Again, I'll go back to database field expert. Here you can have another connection. For example, here you have eFashion, right? In this eFashion, I'll try to add one table. Let's see if I can use calendar here, look up. See, two connections. This is from this connection, this is from this connection. But this type of a report is going to degrade your performance. The reason is, whenever you add two tables, you need to define the relationship between those two tables. So what it does is, at runtime, first it executes a query on this connection, it gets 100% data, and then again it executes the query of this on this connection, and it gets 100% data, and then it tries to link those two tables at report level. So which is going to degrade the performance, but Crystal report is also capable of generating on more than one connection. So to improve the performance, go for a sub report. Whatever the content that you want, add this connection in main report and use the other connection in your sub report. So at runtime, you are filtering the data by using sub report links, which is faster than doing this. So that is about sub reports in Crystal. Now let's talk about running totals. So we are done with SQL expressions, parameters, running totals. So now here running totals are nothing but for getting cumulative sum of any measure value. So while doing the cumulative sum, if you want to avoid some records, you can also do that. For example, here I am going to add country column as well. Now I want to create a new running total. Click on new. Now here I'm going to name this as test. Now which field that you want to summarize? I want to summarize last year's sales. On which type of summary that you want? I want sum. Now when do you want to evaluate this cumulative sum? For each and every record that you want to evaluate. And then when do you want to reset the value? For example, when you have groups, for each and every group you want to reset after calculating cumulative sum. Then select that group. Or here, if you want to, on change of a field value, if you want to reset it, you can also do that. So in this scenario, what I want is, while doing this cumulative sum, I don't want to include specific country related information. Then at the time of evaluation, use the formula, click on this X plus 2 and put a condition that country so let's say is equal to USA. So now what it does is, it's going to evaluate the cumulative sum only for the country USA, but not for all other countries. Now I'll just drag and drop this field here. Now if you observe, see, it is not evaluating. Only when you have a country called US, it has started evaluating. First value is this one. Second value, since it is a cumulative sum, first value plus second value is the value what it is showing. Third value, these two plus third value is what it is showing. So like that, cumulatively it sums up all the values based on the condition, and when it ends, so it stops adding cumulative sum and it repeats whatever the value that you have got so far. So like that, condition based sum that you can get it using running total. Running totals are nothing but it's going to add up all the values row by row to get the output, and you can sum it based on a condition. That is about running totals. So these running totals are going to evaluate after inserting all the records on top of your report. It calculates at report level. That is about running totals in Crystal reports. Now group name fields, if you have inserted any groups in your report, it just shows what are all the groups that you have in your report. And coming to these special fields, like how we have in Web Intelligence, you can actually add print date, data date, the the difference between data date and a print date is data date is going to give you when did you refresh your data. Print date is going to give you when you are trying to print the report. It's not going to give any information on the data, what data that you are printing, but a print date is nothing but the current date. But data date is, see, when did I refresh this report? Maybe 5 minutes before. So that is data date. So just drag and drop it. These are all predefined functions. So it's going to show you the output, data time. So these are all content, local, CE user ID, username. So which gives you the person who logged into the server. So as of now it is null, which means no one, so you don't have any connection to your business objects enterprise. So now if you try to connect, how do we connect? By using repository explorer. Where is the repository explorer? Here it is. And I'm going to log in. As soon as I log into my repository explorer, you'll be able to see the name of the person who logged in my report. So now it is showing administrator. So that CE username is going to give you the person who logged into your report, and CE user time zone, your business objects enterprise server time zone is going to give you file author. So the person who created this report, all that information you will be able to see that. Go to file, summary info. Here you can provide the author name, you can provide some keywords, comments, title, whatever that you provide here. So that will be captured in this special fields. Whenever you place it on top of your report, the same value will be shown. So these are all some predefined functions that are available, which you can simply drag and drop it on top of your report if you want it, especially page numbers and all those things that we use it in any type of a report. So that is about special fields what you have in Crystal reports. Any questions? So that is about complete field explorer of your Crystal reports, which is mostly used window in Crystal to develop your Crystal reports. So apart from this, you also have one more window, that is Report Explorer. So what is this Report Explorer? Let me minimize this field explorer. This is Report Explorer. So when you design any Crystal reports, as I said, for the complex report design, there are some scenarios wherein you might have overlap one object on top of other. So it's very difficult to select a specific field to change the format. In that scenario, you can go through this Report Explorer and you'll be able to see in each and every section what are all the objects that you placed it. By simply expanding page header, see, these are all the objects that I placed it. Whenever I click on that, it's going to highlight that on top of your report. And if you want to change the properties, right click and go to Format Text and do the formatting changes. So that is Report Explorer, just to find in each and every section what objects that you have. That's it. And then coming to Repository Explorer, so this Repository Explorer is going to show you what are all the saved reports that you have in your repository. If I expand Enterprise under Training folder, you have lot of Crystal reports which are published. If you want to open directly from your repository into the designer, double click on that, it directly opens that report in your report designer. Start working on that. You can also see the other type of report. This is webi report. You cannot open it because you are in Crystal Report Designer. You cannot open all other types of objects even then it is showing, but you can only open Crystal reports. So now, other than this, you also have repository items. So what are all these repository items? So let's talk about how do we add logos in our Crystal report. So if you want to add any logo in your Crystal report, so you can directly insert pictures. Just give me a second, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. So inserting logos in Crystal report. So in order to insert any picture, see at the top you have an option called insert picture, and browse through your database machine, and see if you have any images here. A simple image, I can place it on top of my report. So like that you can select the images. So Crystal reports support BMP, JPG, and you have some list of images format that it supports, but it doesn't support GIF. GIF images are not supported in Crystal reports. Now here, so you can add the logos by selecting the image from your local machine, which means after publishing this, it still works, which means as soon as you add an image from your local machine, it's going to make a copy of that and it's going to add it on top of your report, which means this image now is at report level. If you go back to that folder and change the logo, it doesn't reflect here because it is not in a connected mode of that path. As soon as you add an image, just add a copy of that image, and then from there onwards it will be at report level. Now what I want is, if that is the case, each and every report is going to have their own logo. You're going to add that logo, company logo, in each and every report, and you're publishing those reports in your business objects enterprise. Now what happens, as we have seen in web intelligence, the same thing happens in Crystal reports as well. If you want to change the company logo, you need to open each and every report from your repository and remove this image and insert new logo once again. If you have 1,000 reports, you need to do it 1,000 times. So to avoid that, the best practice is you need to add this image to the repository of your business objects enterprise. So right click on this image. Here you have an option called add to repository. Click on add to repository. Now here I already have a logo. See here in my repository. So if you want to override that, you can also use the same name while publishing that logo. Now publish in sample folder, it will ask you, do you want to override the existing logo, whatever that you have? Yes. Now you have that image in your repository explorer, sample folder, logo. Drag and drop it. Now remove this local object, whatever that you have here, but this is from your repository. So from now onwards, whatever the reports that you develop, if you want your logo, then drag and drop the logo from your repository. Clear? Just a second, please. So now from now onwards, whatever the reports that you generate, you can make use of this central repository explorer and use the logo, drag and drop it from the repository, rather adding the image from your local machine, so that all the reports will be in a connected mode of your repository. So whenever you overwrite this logo in your repository, that will be reflected in all the reports, whatever that it is using the repository item. So this type of a reports, wherever that you have used repository related objects, you need to make sure while publishing this report into your enterprise, see here you have one checkbox option, enable repository refresh. You must check this option, so that what happens before it runs the report, it always refreshes the repository items to see any changes happen in the repository, and if it does, then it's going to make those changes, apply those changes on top of your report. Clear? So this is how we add these logos to our repository, and we reuse those logos while building our report. That is one. And how do you pick an image dynamically? Let's see. So I want to insert a group now. Insert group on top of country. Click on OK. So now here you have different groups created. I want to insert an image. I'll take it from here and I'll place it here. On group header, I just placed an image. Okay, this logo I'll just delete it. So this is an image which is coming from a specific folder of my local machine. Now let's say my requirement is I have different flags of each and every country. Whenever a group name changes, according to that group, I want to highlight my flag. If it is USA, USA flag, India, Indian flag, something like that. So dynamically you need to pick an image from a local folder and show the specific image on your report. So how do we do that? So as of now, if I preview it, each and every group is going to have the same image. But to pick the dynamic image at runtime, so what you can do is right click on that image, go to format graphic, and here under picture you have an option called graphic location. So click on X plus 2 corresponding to that option. Now first of all, you need to choose the path of your image, wherein I have it in C drive, images folder. Now copy this path, go to your crystal reports, here in double quotations write the path, and apart from that path I also need to mention the name of the image, but here the name of the image is not static, it's dynamic. When the country name changes in my group, the same name related picture that I need to pick it from my folder. So here I'll concatenate it with the image name plus a country field plus in double quotations I'll use dot JPG, which is extension of my file. So now what I did, the folder location is same, but the name of the image that I am getting it dynamically by concatenating with country name. So if my country name is US in my meet report, it's going to become USA.jpg. If it is Australia, Australia.jpg. It looks for that specific image in that location. Now save and close it. click on OK. And I have only two images, right? One is for USA and then another one is for Australia. So it should show those images properly. So it's USA, and wherever the Australia comes, it picked Australia. And if you have more images in that folder, even that's going to pick dynamically from that location using this logic. So like that, you can dynamically pick the images using format graphic location option in Crystal Reports in a specific folder. So this time, this image is dependent on the folder location. So wherever that you are going to place the images, make sure that that should be shared drive so that it works even after publishing into your business objects enterprise as well. Any questions? No questions? Clear? Any questions? Thank you. So that is about dynamic image location. And coming to, yes, you can use any other images. I've just created some sample images using MS Paint, that's it. You can use any other images, but you have specific formats of the types of the images that it supports in business objects, like it supports BMP, it supports JPG, JPEG, but it doesn't support GIF. So like that, you have some supported images, you can use those images in Crystal. Okay? So that is about images. Now let's discuss about Workbench. So what is this Workbench that we have in Crystal Reports? Let me remove this project as of now. So give me 5 minutes before we look into Workbench. Just a second, I'm getting a call. Okay. So this Workbench, whatever that we have in Crystal Reports, is very much useful for the Crystal Reports developer. So as a report developer, we get lot of requirements, and what we do is we have a Crystal Report Designer installed on your local machine, which is on developer machine, and we start generating those reports. So after generating each and every report, we publish those reports into our business objects enterprise. But let's say you have not published, excuse me. So here, so after generating multiple reports, there are chances that sometimes you might not publish it. Once you are done with generating 10 reports or 20 reports on your local machine, then you start publishing those reports. Now we know how do we publish crystal reports after saving into your local machine. In order to publish those reports into the enterprise, then you need to open each and every report, go to File and click on Save As, select Enterprise, select the folder and save it. But if you have 10 reports to be published, you need to open each and every report and do the same option. If you have 100 reports to publish, you need to do it for 100 times. True? And apart from that, okay, so you have developed, let's say, 100 different reports. Now phase 1 is over and they've asked you to publish all those reports. Now, there are chances that you might not, if you don't follow best practices, something like keeping all those generated reports in a single folder, you kept it in different folder location or different drives. So you need to search for those reports, and before publishing, you need to test whether those reports are working fine or not. So these are all the things that you need to consider, but wherein workspace or a workbench, whatever that we have in uh, Crystal Reports, will help you to solve all those problems. So for example, the current report, whatever that I am generating, I want to, as soon as you click on save, so I want to save this on my desktop. You can always do that. Save it. So now I saved it on my local machine. But what I want is, so I placed it on desktop. Now, rather doing that, you can create a project-like structure in your workbench. So I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to name this as my demo project. Now in this demo project, whatever the reports that you generate here, you can save it and you can add that path into your demo project. Or apart from that, you can also use the existing path. Add existing report or a current report, in the sense whatever the report that you opened in your designer. So now I want add existing report. So these are all the reports that you have. I want to add this and I want to add current report. I want to add one more security report. So all these reports that you can add it, which means adding in the sense you are not adding a physical report into this demo project folder. Still the path of each and every report is showing the same, which is coming from your desktop. The physical location is same, but adding it into a project is you're just adding a reference. So one report is from one location, another report from another location. You can do the same thing. You're just adding a reference in your workbench, wherein you are structuring them, you're arranging them in a project-wise order, and wherein in a specific folder demo project you have all these reports. Like that, you can collect 100 different reports wherever that you place it on your local machine in a logical structure. So once you do that, the advantage of this workbench is you can always check dependencies. If you want to check if you have any errors in a specific report, select that report and check dependency. No issues, successful. Don't have any errors in that. For example, you want to check all the 3 reports at a time, select the project and check dependencies. See, all the reports are successful, no errors at all. Now for example, in one of the report, I'll create an error and I'll store it and see whether my check dependency is going to find that error or not. I'm going to create a new formula. I'll name this as test. I'll write 1 divided by 0, which is going to give me an error, but still I'm going to save it, place it on top of my report, get an error, save and close it, and I'll save my report. Now I'll open my workbench. Now I'll click on check dependencies. So now what is it showing? It shows first and Third report is fine, but in my second report you have one error, division by 0. So now, in order to see that, double click on that error. It directly opens the place where you have that error in that report. This is the formula. Fix the formula. Save and close it. Now save your report. Now again run your check dependency in workbench. Where is that workbench? Here it is. Check dependencies. No errors. So that is an advantage wherein if you are trying to, before you publish a report, just checking whether you have any errors in that report. So not only a single report, bulk of reports that you can run check dependencies on all those reports at a time, and you'll be able to find out if you have any errors in one of the reports. And apart from that, so in order to publish the report once each and every report is fine, then if you want to publish those reports, you can always publish at a time by right clicking on your project. Here you have an option, publish to enterprise, business objects enterprise. So when you publish a project, whatever the reports that you have inside that project will be published. So click on publish to business objects. Now select the folder where do you want to publish. Now while publishing, you have an option to publish these reports as different reports in in business objects enterprise, or publish the complete project as an object package. What does it mean by object package? So what it does is, it's going to create something like a zip file. What we do, collect all the files and we zip it together in a single file. Same thing what it does a package. An object package is going to be a collection of all the similar type of reports, not different types of reports. One is crystal, one is webi, not possible. You can create an object only when you have the content of similar type of reports. All are crystal reports. Then you can create a package. If you select this option and click on OK, it's going to generate one package on your business objects enterprise that consists of all these reports. See, this is the package which got added into your business objects folder with this name demo, and if you expand this package, you'll be able to see all those reports what you have. The advantage of this package is, in business objects enterprise, you have an option called scheduling the reports. So scheduling the reports means you can select a specific report and you can schedule. But here you can schedule a package that consists of multiple reports at a time. So if you schedule this demo package, it's going to execute 3 reports and it's going to give you an output of all those 3 reports. So the disadvantage of these packages, so you have only one disadvantage with this, is if one of the report fails when you're scheduling, the complete package schedule is going to fail. So that is about package. So whenever you install business objects enterprise, the sample reports of your business objects enterprise comes as a package, consists of all the demo samples. So like this you can publish, and apart from that you can also publish into your business objects enterprise just a new folder. I'll make a new folder here. And if you uncheck this option package and if you click on OK, all the 3 reports will be published as it is into your business objects enterprise. So like that, at a time you can publish multiple reports into business objects enterprise using this workbench. So these are all the advantages. You can arrange them in a logical structure of a project and a folder, and and you can always check the dependencies to see if you have any errors in multiple reports, and you can publish multiple reports as a single package, or you can publish all the reports together at a time into your business objects enterprise. So these are all the options that you get using Workbench, which is useful for a developer, not for the customer. Any questions? No questions? So with this, we have seen multiple windows what we have in Crystal Reports. So if you look into the Crystal Reports, we have seen Field Explorer, Report Explorer, Repository Explorer, and Workbench. So these are all the different windows that you have in Crystal Reports. Any questions? So with this, we are done with the session today, and we still have some more options to discuss. So far, we have seen table-like structures in Crystal Reports and sub-reports. And in the next class, we are going to discuss about cross-tabs in Crystal Reports, and how do we create Crystal Reports on top of cubes, and how do we create Crystal Reports on top of universe. So I'll just show you the standard mostly used options in real time, but as you know, Crystal Reports can connect to more than 100 different connectivities. So I cannot go through each and every connection. It is pretty straightforward. So you can check it at your end, and you still have some more formatting options. You need to go through it. Sure. So coming to this timestamp, so where do you want to remove? Is that in Web Intelligence? Okay, 1 second. I'll open a Web Intelligence reporting tool. So are you using eFashion Universe? Okay. So which field that you have selected? Where do you have a timestamp related object in eFashion? I don't see any. There is no timestamp here. Let me unmute you, Imran. Okay.
Just give me a minute.
Okay.
I think it was a reservation. I think.
So reservation in the sense it's Island Resort Marketing.
Yes,
Let me
yes.
open that
Sorry.
universe. Okay. So under reservations, reservation date.
Yeah, I chose opening date, state, store name, and sales revenue.
Okay. So this time, so is this giving a timestamp when you run the query?
Yes.
I don't see any timestamp here.
I'm sorry if you.
So
Shows opening date, that'll give you the timestamp.
Opening date. Where is that opening date? In which class that you have opening date? I don't see any opening date. So no issues. So here, whenever you select any date field and if you run the query, so even if it consists of any timestamp, let me remove this and use number of questions. Data on this. Init run this. What you're seeing is whenever you add that field, it's showing not only the date, it is also showing timestamp, right? So just right click on that, and here you have format options. Go to date and time format and select the format what you want, with the timestamp or without the timestamp. Clear?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So by selecting this, it's going to highlight it. So if you want to completely remove timestamp before getting the data into your report level at the database level, then go to Universe Designer, open an object, whatever opening date that you're using. In that object, check the data type of that object, whether it is date time or date. If it is date time, convert into date and truncate the timestamp. You have truncate functions based on the database that you're using. If you're using Oracle, we use truncate. If you're using SQL, we use convert function called cdate, convert date. So like that, you can also do it at database level. So,
Thank you.
So remember here you have two types. If it is for displaying purpose, this is very simple by simply right clicking and go to format field and remove timestamp. But if it is for filtering purpose in edit query, then that is not at web intelligence level, right? That is at query level. Then if you want to use this for filtering purpose wherein you have an issue with timestamp while filtering it, then you need to do that at universe level, like what I said. Truncate that timestamp and use date as a data type, and only get the date, don't get the timestamp. Especially you face this problem when you use up filter condition. Okay?
Yeah.
Yep. Any other questions? No questions? So I'm going to give you one link which is going to answer all the assignments that I have given on Web Intelligence and Universe Designer so far. So that consists of all the answers for those assignments. So those who are unable to complete it, you can go through it. If you have any questions, you can go through that document. So let me give you the link. You cannot download that PDF. That is a scanned document of Web Intelligence. So very good document for webi for doing multiple exercises on Web Intelligence. Let me give you that link. So this is the link, and that document is something those who are preparing for certification that are also helpful for that. So go through it, and that consists of after each and every chapter you have assignments and the answers as well. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can ask me now. Any questions? Anyone on any tool? Universe Designer, Web Intelligence, Business View, Crystal Reports. Any questions? So maybe on Monday we are going to complete Crystal Reports, and Tuesday onwards we'll start Excelsius dashboard solutions. How do we build dashboards and all those things? Okay. Okay, so that's it for today. Have a great weekend. We'll discuss the remaining part on Monday. Bye bye.